G'day guys, I've recently become aware that my dad has found my YouTube channel, so hey dad, if you're watching, we're going to be talking about Weber today. No, not the well-known charcoal and gas barbecue grill, but Weber the spider. Being an Australian, I'm quite familiar with spiders. We have a lot of them here. We have big ones, we have deadly ones, and everything in between. And while I'm not a big fan of them around here, I was happy to see that they were finally going to get some love and attention in Don't Starve Together in the form of the Weber rework. And more importantly, as someone who has played around 2 hours of Weber in total, I was hoping that there would be more of a reason to pick him back up again. So we're going to go through all the changes, look at what's new in this latest character rework, and see how it stacks up. But before we dive into the gameplay, we have to talk a little bit about the lore, because we got another animated short which you should really watch if you haven't. I'll put a link in the description below, and it has a few juicy details in there with some pretty big implications. First of all, we have none other than Wagstaff himself, fresh from his villainous entrance into the Return of Them story, delivering a containment device to Weber's father, who looks remarkably like Woody, which I'm not sure if that's intended or not, but his father is some kind of scientist himself. You can see he has a degree, he has a lot of equipment, including an alchemy engine, as well as some spectacles, which Wagstaff brings into Hamlet to reveal hidden dangers within objects. So to me, it seems as if Weber's dad is either employed directly by Wagstaff, or is at least a close collaborator of his, helping him research items from the Constant. In this instance, Wagstaff has delivered a spider for observation, and this unfortunately gets tangled up with the boy to become Weber. But this is a very important piece of information. Not only does it show that it is possible for living creatures to escape the Constant, but that Wagstaff potentially holds the key to doing so. In the Eye of the Storm update, we can see Wagstaff's projection in the Constant, and while it's not his true physical form, he's still capable of manipulating objects in that physical space, and we can see him gathering research from the Moonstorm and from the Celestial Champion and taking it back to the real world in a containment unit, which is probably similar to the one he used to bring the spider back. It's anyone's guess what this will mean for the game in the future, but I think it's safe to assume at the very least we haven't seen the last of Wagstaff, and there may be some more interplay between the two worlds, at least from the story side of things. As much as I'd love to see the player escape the Constant, I feel like that might be a bit of a stretch, but we'll see, you never know. For now, we'll just have to be content with the gameplay changes that we've received, and there are a few interesting changes. It seems as though pretty much every rework these days includes a unique crafting tab for the respective character, and Weber's rework is no different, with him gaining access to the Spider Care crafting tab. Along with the cheaper spider eggs, Weber can now also craft the Den decorating set, Webby whistle, shoebox, healing glop, and half a dozen switchadoodles. And yes, that is a technical term. The Den decorating set is a way for Weber to pacify spiders within a particular radius around a spider den. It can be placed on any tier of den, decreasing the size of the webbing around it, and can be removed by shaving the den, which is a new feature from this update as well. Shaving a den with a razor also reduces its tier by 1 and gives you back a very small pittance of silk. I was really hoping this would be a way for farming greater amounts of silk without either killing spiders or destroying the dens, but it seems as though this is not the case here. The den decorating set can also be removed by attacking pacified spiders within its radius, attacking the den itself. Earthquakes underground can remove it if rocks happen to hit the den. Hell, even a slight breeze will probably do it at this point. But speaking of pacified spiders, I'm sure you've noticed they are absolutely adorable. They have a little smile on their face and I love them so much, especially the spitter, who used to be my least favorite spider, but look at his little derpy smile. You can also give them hats, so if you thought they weren't cute enough, you can take it to the next level. Unfortunately, unlike pigs, spiders will drop their hats when they go home for the day, meaning that if you want a spider to wear a hat indefinitely, you'll need to be their friend indefinitely. No, spiders will not be able to use the enlightened crown as they do not have sanity, but you can equip them with some armor for protection in combat. We'll get to that a little bit later on. The Webby whistle acts as a way to call nearby spiders to attention. They'll come out of dens regardless of the time of day, and befriended spiders will abandon their current action, whether that be fighting a creature or eating food. The whistle is now one of Weber's starting items as well, and it has 50 uses. The shoebox causes all spiders nearby to lose aggression and ends your friendship with any spiders as well. It basically does what it says on the box. It makes them shoo. The healing glop is, as Weber describes, good for fixing spider boo-boos. When used, it heals 8 HP for Weber but 80 health for any spiders within its range, making it more geared towards healing your friends rather than healing yourself, but still useful. And that brings us to the switchadoodles. One of Weber's new abilities is that he can change the type of a spider to that of his choosing. As you can see, there is a unique switchadoodle for every kind of spider in the game besides the basic one, including those from the caves, the shattered spiders from the lunar islands, and the brand new nurse spider, who's capable of healing all nearby spiders for 150 health, including itself, spiders it is attacking, and Weber, although it doesn't heal Weber anywhere near as much. They also have 400 health of their own, meaning they're not liable to die from one hit by a boss. These spiders can spawn from spider queens that have taken damage, or they can be created by feeding any spider the nurse switchadoodle. It's important to know that these recipes aren't automatically unlocked when you start the game. You'll need to befriend each of the relevant spiders in order to gain the ability to craft the respective items. It does, however, pose an intriguing question. Just how powerful are Weber's minions when you put them to the test? When you combine the nurse spiders and the ability to pivot towards stronger fighting spiders, and the fact that you can give them armor, will they be able to reliably take down bosses? Well, kinda. I've only done a few tests so far, but a few spider dens worth of spiders are more than capable of killing some of the more basic bosses like Moose Goose, and they can even hold their own against tougher bosses like Dragonfly and Bee Queen, although you'll have to help out a bit as well, of course. However, unless you plan on giving your spiders expensive armor, they'll still get monstered by bosses that can do attacks over an area like Beggar. I do think that this is the area of the rework that has the most potential though, and add into the mix the fact that with this update, Weber's followers will not stop following unless they either die, Weber dies, you go from the caves to surface, vice versa, or they get shooed away. So you don't have to worry about your fighters losing interest in their cause. They will fight till the death if you want them to. I'm definitely going to keep an eye on this space in particular to see what people come up with to increase the efficiency of fights and so on. But besides this, Weber can also sleep in tier 3 spider dens. It basically acts like a tent but drains a little bit more hunger and doesn't give quite as much health and sanity back. But it doesn't cost you anything to make if you have spiders around, and it's not going to wear out either, so I think it's a pretty good compromise. Weber can now eat raw meat without any penalty, when originally this was only the case with raw monster meat. Pacified or friendly spiders also do not attack walls and fences, which is a very nice addition. You could always catch spiders in traps, but now you can hold them in your inventory as well. Weber can also pick up sleeping spiders, and he can travel faster on the webbing of spider dens, which is very cool. It's a shame you can't build turf out of the silk for roads in the same way that Wirt can craft swamp turf, since I don't think people are going to be placing dens every few tiles to make a road, but you never know what we'll get in the future. Of course, with all these types of updates, we have a new skin set for Weber called the Farmhand Collection, and there are a couple of farm-related belongings to go with that as well. The Rockjaw Sail is the latest addition to the Nautical Collection that you can get for a few weeks from watching Klei Ambassador Twitch streamers like yours truly, and that's about it. I think there is potential for this update. The boss fighting prospect is encouraging, although there is an inherent setup cost involved, and potentially a fair bit of fiddling around to recruit the right minions and get them decked out with armor. I may give Weber a try after all, but I'm still not convinced that he will stack up against someone like Wolfgang. But what do you guys think? Will you be giving Weber a shot, or if you're already a Weber main, are you happy with the update and what it brings to the table? I'd like to hear your thoughts. Feel free to say hello to my dad in the comments on the off chance that he manages to find where YouTube has put them. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.